of the
United States
of
of
America,
America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Well, as we get older, it's not good when you're sitting there thinking, do I remember all these words? But I'm going to attribute that to age. So just bow our head and ask a prayer as we start our meeting. Father, we thank you for Kiwanis. We thank you for kids. We ask you to bless them and continue blessing them through us, inspire us, and give us good thoughts so that we can entertain new activities to support our children in the world and in our area. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. We were back to talking about our Key Club, and we're going to have that on the agenda today. And Paul, you want to pick that up where we?
Sure. Tim and Will, we have 3 applications, Matthew Blandford, Hazley Smith, and Emma Casey. If you got the applications, Hazley Smith has the greatest number of outside of activities, school and Key Club, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 typewritten lines. Emma has 5 typewritten lines, and Matthew has 3 printed lines. On paper, Hazley has done the most. The 3 essays, I agreed with the note we got from Dan that Casey shows greater leadership in that she has one sentence that she says at the end of the first paragraph. She says a true leader inspires others through their actions and the servant's heart and efficiency. All of their grades are above 4.0, so they all meet that requirement. All of them got a good response from Anne, who is their faculty advisor. Matthew says leadership is putting your others before yourself. That's good. And Hazley, and to be honest with you, I think Hazley's a boy, but I'm not positive. It doesn't matter, except every time we've had a winner, a scholarship has always gone to a girl. Hazley again is strong to say a heart of service is rooted in a pure love of God, which will never fail us. None of them, let's see, Hazley's a member. Emma, I think, is the editor of their Key Club newsletter. And Matthew is the treasurer as far as leadership.
Say that one more time. So Emma is the secretary, is that what we said?
No, Emma's the editor of it just says editor of Key Club.
Okay.
It says she's a student council president. She's the treasurer of the National Honor Society. She got a Scholar Athlete Award, the highest GPA for English 1 and 2 honors, Eagle Award for AP Human Geography, volleyball, varsity tennis, varsity soccer. She's going to Florida. Matthew's going to North Florida, and Hazley's going to Florida. All of them are staying in state.
Which scholarship talked about inspiring leadership?
Emma.
Emma.
A true leader it says a leader should be depicted as someone who serves others and puts others' needs before their own, rather than someone who's just the face of the operation. This is an aspect of leadership that people most often fail to recognize. A true leader inspires others through their action, servant's heart, and efficiency. And I'll go back and tell you, in 2019, the president was Brookie. She was Miss Jacksonville teen and was a beautiful child. And she, in my mind, she was the face of Key Club. Savannah was the worker bee of Key Club, and Savannah's the one that got it. I think the one, you know.
Why don't you make us a recommendation?
Well, can I say two things that I noticed that I haven't heard you say? With Hazley, more than anybody else, I noticed an initiative outside of Key Club to go do service, because he or she was the founder of a nonprofit tutoring club for children of essential workers amidst the pandemic, and also was a volunteer at a tennis camp that focuses on youth in the urban core of Jacksonville. And I didn't notice that initiative noticed in the other two. And that's
correct. I didn't either. That's a good point. And from Hazley, let's look at his. Just a minute. Personally, let me read you this paragraph on Hazley. Personally, being a member of Key Club made community service a natural part of my routine and prioritized special volunteer project that I was passionate about. And then he says about what you know, the Ronald McDonald House, and when they decorated a couple of years ago at Westminster Woods, and then he was moved to write notes to his family. You know, this sounds more like a girl. I don't know. Writing notes is more like a girl would do. And the opportunity this person was given in Key Club opened their eyes to the ways they could see their community. That means Key Club had an important part in this person. So that might be a plus for Hazley. Do you think?
That rung with me took a lesson from what they started with and
yeah,
applied it to their world.
And again, this is the one, I mean, I'll show y'all. That's a lot. See, that's all the organizations, all the other the stuff that this one did, and still maintained a 4.83, which weighted, that's almost a 5 point, which is incredible.
And I think, you know, I guess everyone saw that we have the $500 on our
Thanks
account.
to
So
Dan.
we can do this. Then you're saying, which of those applicants would you recommend for us?
I think Hazley.
All right.
And because I think the things that Will saw that he brought out are very true. That person took what came to Key Club, took some of the things that it was already inbred in that kid. The kid obviously comes from a religious, for lack of a better word, background, because this one has quotes scripture twice. So
any other questions?
what?
Any other questions? I recommend we go ahead and go with the nomination. If all are in favor, say aye.
Okay, I will,
Tim, you're muted, but I'm going to take that as an aye. Okay, we've got a vote on that, and congratulations, and thank you for all your work on that, Paula.
you're welcome.
And all the
And I
comments
will,
covered.
I'll go ahead to, what do you call that when I get the little thing that's gonna go on their plaque? And Pete, you go ahead. I'll send you the exact spelling of the name, because we did a certificate, and I think you did that.
I knew you'd bring that up. Yeah.
If you,
I'll dig around.
okay, if you find it, I'll do it. But you have, I think you have it probably in your files. You probably have.
Yeah, I think I got those from the beaches a couple of years ago, and
Okay.
it's been a year.
Take a couple, all right, look for it a couple days. If you can't find it, get back to me and I'll get to the beaches.
Paula, while you're on the floor, would you like to comment anything on Division 5 updates, or?
We're gonna have a DCM 2 weeks from tonight. I do not have a speaker yet. I would like to do a DCM slash interclub in July. And I'd like for Deercreek to be the host, and I'd like for it to be at the Mandarin Museum. And the speaker will be somebody that will talk about the history of the museum. And we would sit in the schoolhouse, which has chairs and is big enough. And maybe we would also have a picnic, but that's to be determined. We don't have to decide that
We'll
today.
get someone appointed to head that up.
Okay.
But it's in July, that is.
Mhm. It would be my third DCM of 4, and then we'll have another one in September.
And
And-
that will be a live event. That's not a Zoom event. That's a live show.
It's a live event. We're gonna have a live event. By then, everybody will be able, I mean, the museum will ask probably still in July, we'll still be asking people to keep their mask on when we're inside.
Mhm.
Hopefully we'll be sitting down and eating. And we can
Yes, but we'll get that all figured out.
But even, I mean,
I will take that on, and we'll do that, Paula.
Good, thank you.
This is more of a format of a board meeting than a regular meeting, and so I wanted to stress that. Moving to programs, and Will, would you?
Joe ended up talking to Ron Moody, and I'm trying to get an answer from him on timing. And I just saw his email today because I haven't been able to get a response from him. So I'll try to circle back with him on Ron Moody for the future. Paula wants to do a talk about fundraising coming up, fundraising for smaller clubs. I created a little
That's a
spreadsheet.
topic for a meeting.
Yes,
Yes.
I said in June.
And the thought on Ron Moody is he's an appraiser locally. Known him for a long time, as many of us have, and he is knowledgeable about developing in Jacksonville, what is happening in our 3 or 4 county area at large, as well as the city of Jacksonville, what's happening with our growth economically and building, et cetera. So that'll be an interesting meeting, I think, for me. That's a topic I like to hear about.
Then beyond that, you guys all got the email from me kind of asking for things that you'd like to hear about. And so far I've gotten 2 responses. So unfortunately we don't have as big a presence on this meeting as would help, because two of the people on this call are the ones who gave responses.
What were those responses? Will, do you remember?
You and Paula gave them.
Said what?
So I added a couple things, but so I've broken it up into various categories. So we'll say third response would be me, but one would be like club improvements, like the fundraising for small clubs, or looking at maybe getting another club who's done a program we're interested in doing. Like if we wanted to look back at that bugs program, find a group that's done a successful one, and maybe have someone from them talk to us. One category as I broke it up was charities, kids and locals. So like talking about homelessness in the area with maybe the Salvation Army or the City Rescue Mission or Salzbachers, looking at food pantries like Feeding Northeast Florida or something like Special Olympics that focuses on youth. Another category I kind of broke it up into was kind of community impacts, which I think you'd suggest or offered the idea of how children are coping with virtual school and what do we need to do to get back to normal. Potentially getting someone with the school system or teachers to talk about that and what's needed from the community to help that. How can civic clubs support and which ones are? What are the expectations for fully opening or returning to normal? Another category that I broke things into was groups that are more focused on kids. So something like looking at library programs and that they do for kids and what opportunities clubs can assist them. And unfortunately, the person I was talking to from the local library got a new job and shifted away, so I need to reach out to one of their other ones. Or something like the Jack Sports Council and how do they get involved with kids or YMCA, something like that. And then the other category I put things under that were brought back were local community or industry concepts like Jacksonville the realty market, what's happening in the realty market, how's the area growing, our jobs and careers in Jacksonville, that sort of thing. So those are between what I added and what you two sent in. Those are the ideas we've gotten so far.
Do we have any other discussion by members, Tim, et cetera? Anybody want to make any comments regarding programs they'd like to have?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your problem. We had, in my former club, we had the same problem. We would get 10 members at a meeting, and it was embarrassing to get a speaker to come in for 10 people. Well, there are other programs that will talk to 2 people, but we found that the easiest way to get a speaker and the ones that are most interesting are the ones that we contribute to or the ones that we help, because they tell us what they need. They tell us what we've done for them, and it's a symbiotic situation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mhm.
All right. Dale, any other comments
I would-
about what you need to move forward and start setting up programs starting with the next month?
I'll probably send out the email one more time and see if I can get a little bit more response. And but yeah.
What about membership? Recruiting people, the techniques. What is there some things? Because Kiwanis International has some suggestions in there, and let me dig. I thought I saw something. I think there's some things we can get to help us we can get online and have download. And because we need to have new members, because the more members we have, the more we can do. And it's, it's fun. So I'm glad that we've got, Jeanette back, and we've got Tim now, and we're up to 12 people. We were down to 9 in September. Then we picked up 3 since then. So that's like on a roll. And so we're not the smallest club in the division, but I would like to be up around 15 or 20, and we could do more.
Well, and I think as we improve our meetings and our programs and et cetera, that'll be a natural. Hopefully, when we get some of these programs, if we know people that would be interested in that program, we invite them to the Zoom meeting or the meeting in person, and that'll help stimulate a little more interest as well. So
When do y'all think we can have a meeting in person?
that's the next topic. Pete, would you lead that discussion on
Yeah.
what we're
Uh,
discussing?
Okay, well, I spoke to Deercreek because we had, met there way back a couple of years ago before we shifted to Panera, before we shifted to, down to Dan and Barb's office. And, but when we shifted to Panera, we were able to get, Bert would show up because his office is nearby and otherwise, but he's working all day. He's a retail guy. And so it's hard for him to get away to come to a meeting, and he could make those. He seemed to be able to do that. But I talked to Deercreek because I know that in November, the club was sold, and I knew about that in September because my neighbor across the street was one of the instigators to buy it. And he and about a dozen other, well, maybe eight or nine others in the community here in Deercreek put together the money to buy the whole country club, the golf course and the clubhouse, etc., for under $2 million, which is almost a bargain. And then they've sold equity memberships in it now, which we didn't have before. So the club has really gotten active, and they've done lots of deferred maintenance, things that were getting rotten are now being fixed. And there's a brand new patio going out. They're putting pavers out back and a whole new porch and patio. It's going to be cool. I talked to them about going to have our meetings again. I know we had in the past, we had that 1 year or two, we had a special little short menu. We could pick something off, one of 5 things off that menu and go around, and they would all be priced the same, so it would be easy. And they're not going to sign up for that. If we want to have an event type meeting where they put out a spread and plated or otherwise, it would be $18 plus per person. I said, well, what about a casual meeting where there's just like 5 or 6 of us, 8 of us, whatever, because there's the booze in there. You can get about 8 to a booth, 4 on each side with a table in the middle. And there's one across the back in Mallard's. The restaurant lounge is called Mallard's now, and that's new a year or 2 ago. And there we could order off the menu, and they would just bill me because I'm a member there. And that would be easiest for them. And the pricing in there runs from, $8 or $9, $10 up to $15 or whatever, I can scan that menu and email it to everybody to take a look at it, but I thought we'd try that for May and just have a casual meeting and sit at a booth and order off of that, and we'll just take notes, and then I can figure out how to bill people based on what was ordered.
Pete, the room we used to meet in, is that even an option?
Yeah, if you do that, if you're asking for the room, well, we a while ago we met in the boardroom. If we want to do that or meet in what they call the parlor, which is a 3-sided room that opens onto Mallard's, that's got chairs in it. It's kind of semi-private. You're still not, you can't close the door. And those would both be those are event type rooms, and they would charge us $18 a piece plus tax and gratuity.
And they would set up a menu.
We work out the food, whatever we want. So we could do that, meet once a month. I don't know.
All right, so we're the proposal is that we meet in May in one of the booths. And we'll do that on the first meeting in May, first Wednesday in May.
It'd be the May 5th, I think. Oh, Cinco de Mayo.
That's your birthday. Is that your birthday or the day after
No.
your birthday?
My birthday's the 3rd, Monday the 3rd.
We have several May birthdays. Do we have any
Pete, you're just,
April birthdays?
No,
Good. Well, we don't have to worry with that. So if no objection to that, I say that's what we'll do.
What is the patio in the back? Or what's the patio?
Not
that-
right. In the back, in the past, there was a back porch and it had tables, so you could actually sit out on the tables, and you can sit on the front porch and just order and have them bring food out to you if you want to do that. But there was a back porch. Well, right now that's closed because it's under construction. It may be done by May. And I'll take a picture of the patio, but we can walk around and look at all that when we're having the meeting. The
Would
pat-
that be
what they've done-
$5 or would that be independent?
No,
Is that,
it's if you walk in the front door, you're walking into a lobby, and then behind that is a formal dining rooms. You know, it's either they can cut it in half or they make it full, and straight on through there, you go out the back porch. You're onto a back porch, and it steps down to the ground. And it used to be just a porch, and it was just grass out there, and they had a gazebo out there, and it was for weddings, but it'd all be on the grass. Well, they built a nice big patio down there, what used to be grass, and it's all big pavers. And you've got a lot of the pavers laid down there. It's got walls around it. And I think they're going to put like some umbrellas up or a covering over it. I'm not, or part of it. There's more to come on that, but that'd be a nice area just to sit out there, especially in, in the cool, in the moderate weather.
Is anybody concerned about being outside for COVID versus inside?
no.
eating, I'd rather do it that way, but I'm getting a second vaccine on Friday, so I'll probably be good.
Yeah,
Is
you get the first
everybody-
you've got
Who
some,
got their
you've
vaccine?
got pretty good immunity, probably 60% already from the first. Yeah, I
Has
had
all of
mine.
us gotten shots?
Yeah,
I
got
have.
mine. I got mine from the VA,
Yeah.
Moderna.
How about you, Tim? Are you?
I got my 2 Modernas from Publix.
And Paula, you've taken your shots, right?
I got Pfizer at Regency.
Yeah, and I had the Moderna at the. So I think everybody in the group will have their shots by then. But anyway, we'll meet at the best place Pete decides for us to meet at once we see what's available, and then we'll just meet there.
And we don't want to have a speaker that day, or
Did you want to have one? We could always do it.
well, I could do this. I can talk about what I've learned about fundraising that day. And
Why don't we
then
make that our
in-
program, Will? What do you think?
So the other one would be Ron Moody, and I'd want to circle on where that conversation's gone with Joe, and I think either of those two would be good potential.
Yeah,
if we wanted to try to get more people to come for Ron Moody. And we're checking out Deercreek on the 5th. Should we save Ron Moody for the first? What I'm asking is if we
well,
should.
would Ron
save
be
Ron
better on a
Moody.
Zoom meeting than on a person meeting?
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't have to stop the Zoom. We could have an in-person meeting once a month and a Zoom once a month, and having 2 meetings a month. And, maybe the speaker's a Zoom meeting for May. If we
What's
get Ron.
the discussion on doing 2 meetings a month instead of one to Zoom and one in person?
I
Well,
could do that.
I mean, the other potential is you do the in-person meeting and put it on Zoom. So if somebody can't come.
And we could do both. You could make it, yeah.
Question is, will anybody, right now we've got 5. A couple people responded that they wish they could have come.
Yeah, we usually have better attendance than this, but who knows?
Someone like Bert who can't get away could come there, hadn't really been.
We can't control that. All we can control is the quality of our programs, and we can control our event. So I think we need to know who the speaker is as early as we can. And if someone would attend a Zoom meeting of that meeting in person, then we could set it up for Zoom at the same, we can figure that out. So we could have a real meeting in person and have Zoom available. We could have a Zoom meeting maybe the third week of the month. So that's what we're thinking, and we just need some feedback. And if everybody's okay with that, we'll proceed with that thought in May, is try to get a Zoom meeting and an in-person meeting.
So the in-person meeting is going to be the 5th, and then the Zoom meeting would be the 19th.
Whatever
And we
the
would-
third,
That's the third. I'm just sitting here looking at a calendar.
Yeah,
And
19.
that's so that's the third Wednesday. So Will, if you could work on the 19th for a Zoom meeting with Ron Moody.
well, or vice versa, would you do if Ron could meet at the person meeting, do we have time to do that? To get more, we'd want to get at maximum attendance.
The only thing is I thought one of the things that we were going to Deercreek was to check it out.
Yeah, at least this first time. And if we're in a
And so
booth,
that's why I think Deercreek should kind of be like a board meeting.
Yeah, that makes good sense.
Yeah, I mean, then we can see how that other site, how the
Yeah.
patio, which one's better. Have some available,
yeah, Deercreek it would be real easy for about 8 people, maybe 9, put one on its end, or 10. After that, we'll be very cozy. We'll be like shoulder to shoulder. So there won't be any safe sit distancing. So everybody needs a shot, but I think we're okay. Or we
All
can,
right, so
they do have tables and chairs. We can set that up. We got some flexibility, but I think we need to look at Deercreek and kind of play with it in person so we can kind of see what we can get out of it.
out of curiosity, have you been in the restaurant at all lately? Is it getting
Yeah.
is it busy, or is it pretty spaced out still, or?
That's another thing. Thank you for bringing the word busy up. We were talking about Wednesday to May 5th, and she said Wednesdays are our busy day, and we would have to make a reservation. And if you had to make it before 11 or after 2 or something, she said Tuesday or Thursday would be better.
Does anybody care about Wednesdays versus Tuesday or Thursday? I mean, I don't have any.
So I was thinking maybe Thursday at, 11 or 12.
I tell you, I've got some conflicts on Thursday. I didn't think about that, but that might not work for me.
Tuesday?
Yeah, I could do Tuesdays. I don't have anything going on that I'm aware of.
Tuesdays are usually light for everybody. They'd be easy to take care of us then. We wouldn't have an hour wait. We don't want.
To do Tuesday the 4th.
Does
Yeah,
that work?
Mhm.
works for me.
Then I can't do Tuesday the 18th, but I could do Tuesday the 4th.
Well, if we're gonna do a Zoom on what we say
We could still keep the Zoom meeting on Wednesday.
on the
Yes.
Wednesday, yeah.
So we'll do a Tuesday in person and a Zoom on Wednesday, and then we'll talk about it again. We'll keep that thought process going.
Okay.
Right.
And our program for the Tuesday in person would be Paula Suey on
On finances.
small club fundraising. And I'll put out a couple of emails to all the membership, trying to get them to attend that in-person meeting and listen to fundraising. Because if we're not doing anything to benefit the children in the community, we lose a lot of our purpose. And I think our membership would grow as we gain our purpose. So
Well, and
That's
I
one of
will
our
tell
goals.
you that this is a little spiel I'm giving to all the clubs. I gave it last week to Fernandina. I'm giving it next week to St. Augustine.
right, so you're going to be practiced.
If they ask me, if they ask me to be the speaker, then I'm saying I'm gonna, and I've gotten just some stuff from other clubs throughout our division. Not our division, our district. So 2 things I want to I just read through Hazley. It's a girl. She's a girl. I did finally find someplace that it said female. And do y'all all know that we have another person who's gonna be the lieutenant governor next year? Not me.
You mentioned that, I think.
Changes every year.
Well, I could have done it 2 years
Yeah.
and I would have done it 2 years. But what I did is, as I went to clubs, I said, does anybody here want to be the lieutenant governor? And I asked Steve Arrington, you want to be the lieutenant governor? And he said, well, yeah. So that was my way to say, okay, I don't have to do it again.
And
It's
he's
been
been
fun.
around, he's been around forever, like me too.
Yes, he has.
Which club Steve Arrington from again?
He's from downtown.
Well, you know, what else, what other comments do we have or topics we should take up for this meeting? Otherwise, we'll see you all in person in May.
I will say, Paula, if we get more like, if some of the topics that are like club improvement ideas, I figured I would reach out to you as lieutenant governor, seeing those resources
Okay.
now, some ideas on who to talk to.
Okay.
All right, Tim, any comments?
I'm just learning.
It's good to have you here, a fresh face and your ideas. Thank you.
Nobody's ever called me a fresh face before, so thank you.
Well,
Tim,
you and I have an advantage.
Tim, how long have you been in Kiwanis?
November of 1980. You
Hey,
do the math,
That's 41 years.
right?
You,
I need to send you an email because I need to talk about you in what I'm writing for the April newsletter, which God only knows when it's going to be finished, but
You're better off coming up with those words than us, Tim.
I want to say something about you being I'm doing something on people that have been in Kiwanis more than 30 years.
did you ever get a hold of Lillian?
No, I sent her an email, but she didn't respond.
You
I
might
wanna
have to call her.
I want to mention one thing. On the 20th of April, JU plays Florida in baseball at JU. And I'll send out a link if you want to buy a ticket for like $10. That ought to be a good game. JU beat Florida in the early part of the season, and they ended up throwing a beanball at my grandson, Colby. And a game we won. But it's an interesting, it'll be an interesting game, I'm sure, just because it'll be fun. I'm not trying to promote the beanball. I don't know.
At JU or in Gainesville?
It's at JU, and it's like $10 a ticket, and they have open seating, so they have pods. You're going to end up having to seat in 3s and 4s. But to get tickets to baseball, they've opened it up a little bit more, so you can get access. They still require masks going in and coming out, and some of them, may want you to do it at the seat, but usually you can get a bottle of water or a beer and sit. They now sell beer generally at the stadiums. I don't know if they sell at JU.
Not when they've got students.
it's starting to
They do it Florida, they do it Tennessee, they do it South Carolina. I don't know if some of
That's
the,
all SEC and.
that's all SEC. So it could
college
be.
athletics is realizing they can make money off it. So they're
Well, they're down, and we don't have attendance. They got problems, so,
but I mean, they were looking at that even before COVID. So,
yeah.
it
Yes.
was already in their suite. So what's the difference as long as they're not selling to the students?
So speaking of beer, the downtown club has a beer tent at the boat show Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if any of y'all go to the boat show, make sure you get your beer from the downtown club. And the Bell South Pioneers are actually going to make a little money because they're the ticket takers. And on behalf of my brother-in-law, who is the president of the Bell South Pioneers, it's all about making money.
Well, I'm not sure my computer's right in time. Let me look at my phone. No, we're pretty close. 12:44. We're a little early still, but if no other comments, I say we adjourn.
Good.
Well, did they play the Florida State game at the stadium downtown this year?
I don't think so. Well, they played last night at Gainesville, and Florida won in the 10th inning with a walk-off home run. It was an exciting game. So
Was Kobe pitching?
no, Kobe's not pitching. He's playing second or third, but he is
Oh.
playing as a freshman, and so you'd know somebody. I've got a grandson that plays for Florida. So I'm not proud of him or anything. But it's, all right, I just thought I'd mention it. I'll send out that link if you want to go. There'll be some of us there you'd know. No other comments? I say we adjourn and we'll see you in May.
Have
on
a
the
great
4th, on
day.
Tuesday.
Okay,
I guess.
Thank you. Help us spread the word that it's going to Tuesday and it's going to be in person.
right. Made a note.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, see you.
I guess.
Bye.